Hey everybody, Bill in Virginia. Welcome back. So on this episode, I am starting to work on the Scenic divide. You can see it here on edge view, and I'll show you how it looks face on and kind of talk through a little bit about what I'm going to try to do with it. So I've got 2 sheets of very thin masonite. I will glue them together so that I get one solid piece out of this. This is 5 feet long. That's the same length as my center section. And I've got holes cut to go through for the tracks there and for the tracks there. Now it's just sitting in place, and until I get scenery going, it's going to stay that way. But what I'm thinking to do is on this side, I'm going to have hills and mountains coming up along in here, and I can hide this by both a combination of painting the backdrop like I did on the N scale and HO scale layouts, and then trees kind of coming up tight along in here and kind of leaning over the track both directions and up high to sort of hide this. This will be painted kind of a dark green, black, brown sort of color right in through here to blend in with the vegetation on the trees. Then you get higher up, and I'll have my sky and again, just lots of stuff. Same down here is in this area, I'll have sort of a ridge coming up with trees that'll kind of hide that track as it goes through. I'll have more stuff up over here, kind of going up and over, so that this is sort of hidden from view, and what'll be seen from behind on this side is going to be more trees, and just kind of coming up, blending in here, so that it just looks like it's disappearing into a forest. I don't know that it's going to work, but we will find out, not anytime too soon, but in a while. So what I'm going to do is I will get the next section set, and I'll add another support right here on this side, and I'll add another one right over here so that I can get another piece of masonite, or 2 pieces. It'll go up to the top, and then it's going to come and it's going to curve down. So it's going to be a nice curve coming in, and it's only going to go about halfway on this piece of the layout. Because then it's going to be mountains and forest all the way up and around, so that you can't really see the edge. It's going to sort of blend it in before it goes up. I'll do that on the other side as well. So, as I get going farther on scenery, what I will do is I'll decide at that point whether that makes sense and whether it's going to work. Because over here it's going to be a little bit more tricky. And the great thing of having a layout on wheels, there we go. So over here, it'll be sort of the same thing. I'll have some ridges and some cliffs coming up, lots of trees, kind of to hide this. Still gonna have a bridge, kind of coming across into here, and then sort of a rocky cliff and face sort of going up in here, sort of staggered heights, again, trees and everything else to kind of hide it from this side. Same thing down here, I'll have, this will have the trestle going over it. This will come in, there'll be more mountains and ridges kind of coming off this way, and then trees kind of blocking it and stuff, again, to blend it all in so that you can not see it disappear through a divider. That's the goal. The reality is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to sure give it a try. And if it doesn't work, I will remove it completely, and then I will just continue the scenery that I'm doing here and onto the other side, and maybe build up the mountains a little higher, just to kind of get as much of a view block as I can, because then this will be visible out this way. Now, another thing that I've just done is I have added this to this piece right here. What I've been finding is I've been moving the layout is that this piece tends to move not a lot, like about a 32nd of an inch, but it's enough that I can hear the wheels clicking a lot louder over here, and I've seen it sort of off-centered. So what I figured I'd do is I'd put this in, and it's got just a very little amount of tension on it right now. just to kind of hold it into place. And once I get the scenery on and start taking this thing places, I can still get in from underneath, and I can reach up and have somebody else with me kind of looking at the track alignment. And if I need to tweak this ever so slightly, I mean, it's just a fraction of a turn one way or another, we'll pull that track back into alignment. So right now it is aligned nicely. Just a feature that I figured I would add and live with it. So one thing that I'm going to be cautious of is when I'm running trains, I can't see them because of the view block on this side. So I'm going to run a couple of them blind, and with the throttle I can at least just set it and I can be over here and I can kind of watch, make sure that everything is running smooth, not having any issues, which I haven't had. I've been able to run things for a long period of time, and that everything's making good clearance going through the view block. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's enough of that for right now. Let's see what other mischief I can get into on the layout. Well, we'll watch it kind of go through this little scene divide here in just a second, once it reaches high point and heads down. My little drawer is working pretty good for the DCC system. And I've got it set at a slow speed of about 17 off of the 28 steps. I want to go slow over the top and then see what happens as I'm continuing to go. So let's see if she makes it through here. Okay, that's good. Tracking well. So if I can get the scenery to work, I think this is going to work. Let's come down here. Let's see. Let's run it straight through. So that's going to work. All right, well, I'm just going to run some trains for a while and contemplate this a little bit more. So it is a cool Sunday afternoon in Richmond. I have done a little bit more on this. I came in and I widened out this just a little bit, about a half an inch, because engine's coming this direction. I had one hang up on here. So this I widened out just a little bit, and that should be good. Did come in and I cut the end piece. So this is how I'm envisioning this. Again, this is going to be painted sky blue with a sort of a white with a slight red tint, like I used on my other backdrops. Mountains, hills, all of that kind of coming up. Where this ends down at the bottom, that's going to be hidden probably up to almost here, as I've got this mountain going up this way and going around. So, a lot of this is going to be hidden, but I curved it and created a jig out of some scrap lumber for my jigsaw, so I could pivot on it and then cut it to basically a 2-foot radius. So I like how it's looking in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these down because it's 2 pieces of masonite. I'm going to glue them up and lay them, make sure that they're flat so I get a good solid piece out of 2 pieces. Then what I'm going to do is I have some of the old pin style rail joiners from long ago, from like an 027. And once this is glued and set, I'm going to come in and I'll put a few witness lines in here, and this, this will be up and I can adjust it to make it pretty tight. And I will drill in the this and have a couple, at least 2 pins, probably a pin up here and a pin down in here somewhere, so that when I'm bringing the sections together, I can align them so that they're reasonably flush. Again, I'm not no way I'm going to be able to hide the seam 100%, but I'm going to do as much as I can using scenery. And then speaking of scenery, that's actually going to be about the next thing I'm going to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come into this area just right here. I've got a bunch of pink foam board. I'm going to kind of build this up to how I want it to be. And I will paint the backdrops. That'll go actually fairly quick. But I want to make sure that what I'm wanting to do will actually work for the visual effect of locomotives going into a forest. And then I can kind of hide this area. So I'm going to do just a little bit of scenery right here to make sure that what I'm thinking is actually possible. And if it's not, then the backdrop just comes off. No worse for the wear. And I will just go to some higher scenery to act as view blocks in a few points rather than relying so much on the backdrop. We'll see how this all plays out. Next, I'm going to take these out, glue them up, so more to come. So Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to do a little bit more out here, but this will be the biggest project for today. Everything is glued up. It is back in position. I did let the glue dry for a couple of hours on each panel before I put it in, and then just added some clamps just to make sure nothing goes astray on me. But you can kind of see how this is going to look. So the backdrop will be blue, mostly up near the top, maybe down about 6-7 inches. Then white blended with the blue. So it'll go from a blue sky to sort of that hazy look that you get a little lower. And then, once we get into here, this will be mountain, have a lot of the tall trees that you see in the background, plus many more that I'll make, kind of covering this, hiding this as it sort of transitions. So as you're walking around the layout, you're going to see mostly trees into here. You'll be able to see that a little blue line as you go from this side over to the next. But next couple of things that I'm going to do will be tomorrow. I'm expecting the last ground throws from Caboose Industries. I will get those installed this coming week. And as noted, I'm going to do a start on some scenery right here, just to kind of see how it'll play out. I am also going to go to Home Depot and I'll get another sheet of masonite, have it ripped in half. I'll make another curved part and get that put on for that piece. And then some of that leftover masonite will start to be the skirting, not the skirting, but just sort of the fascia going up and around. I can start to get that put into some places here too. So I am to the point where really it's going to be transitioning to scenery pretty quick. Although I still have to replace those boards under that track over there, and I still got to paint the brick. I got a lot to do. But anyway, let's see what else I can get into here before the end of the weekend. Well, Sunday evening. I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video. Made some good progress this weekend. Trains are running. I'm having some fun. So, have some things that I will work on this coming week. And I've already started to put the cross pieces in, which will be the supports for my foam for scenery. So, let's see what other mischief I can get into as we go into another week. So, take care and keep having fun on your layouts. Until next time.